Hey guys, it's Greeno. I'm going to try something different here, this video. Caught a couple videos from George. He's doing this thing called Nyrd Alert, and I'm loving them. And thought I'd kind of jump in here with him. George and I met here in the VC, and man, we hit it off real quick. Very similar guys. We text all the time, talk on the phone, and outside of music, we have similar tastes in other things like comics and movies and that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool seeing George show some of that stuff, and I always liked his videos where he was showing the Blu-rays and DVDs he picked up and all that. So, anyways, I'm gonna kind of jump in here too. So there's no music in these Nerd Alert videos. Just odd stuff I picked up. A lot of, for me, will probably just be movies and that kind of thing. I'm a big old movie and old TV fan. Constantly picking up stuff when I find it cheap. And yeah, I just love old sci-fi, horror, 60s, 70s, 80s. And that's the stuff I like the most. I like modern sci-fi a lot. I pick up a lot of that stuff. I'm not a big fan of modern horror, but I'm not into the slasher stuff and all that. I'll take an old black and white creepy horror movie over a bloody, gory movie any day. But anyways, kind of jump into it. Thought I'd show these. George showed these, but I'll go ahead and show them too. Scary Monsters magazine. Love this magazine, man. And this is 98. And also, just finishing this one up. I also just picked up 99. And like he was saying, man, if you dig the old movies, horror, sci-fi movies, this is pretty much the Bible right now on the stands. It comes out like 4 times a year or so. Then they do a yearbook also, I believe. But just great stuff, man. If you dig the old stuff. And what's really cool, they have a big article in the back about all the new versions coming out. Some company is totally redid an old movie, putting it out on Blu-ray or whatever. But it's a good way of keeping up on that kind of stuff too. And like I said, I just picked up this issue, and they're talking about issue 100 being the last one. Man, I really hope it's not, because this magazine goes away. It's going to be a sad day. Also, I used to be a huge comic geek. Collected for, 25, 30 years, and have a shit ton in storage. Don't really have them here at the house, but occasionally I'll pick something up. And again, fan of the older stuff. I see modern comics today. If I'm out somewhere, I'll pick them up and look at them, and I'm just not a big fan of the art. And definitely not a fan of the prices. Holy crap, man. Like, what, $4 for just a regular issue or something now? No way. But occasionally I'll grab something when I find it for a cheap price or whatever. And didn't necessarily find this for a cheap price, but still it was only like $15, 20. But they did the Batman 66, kind of like the TV show. And they started a run of comics. And very cool, man. It's, got the old school look to it. Just totally campy and fun. I never saw the individual comics anywhere, but they put them out, put a bunch of them together. And this is volume 1. I have volume 2 also. Just got it in not long ago. I haven't started on it yet. But really dig this. So, alright. The rest of this will just be kind of old movies I've been picking up lately. And I've been in, I go in waves, and right now I'm in like a pretty heavy wave. I've been watching a lot of old movies, and actually probably watching more old movies than I have been listening to music lately. And, that'll change probably, a couple days, couple weeks, whenever. It just happens. Okay, we're back. Sorry, battery died on me. Had to charge it up for a couple minutes. Okay, like I mentioned before, huge old movie fan. Always picking up DVDs, Blu-rays when I find them cheap of old movies. Horror, sci-fi, old comedies. Just Love that stuff. Old TV shows. Always looking for old TV shows, cheap, like at Target and Walmart and those places, you know, $10 or less for a whole season. Usually I'll grab them. So, anyways, kind of jump in here. Just some of the stuff picked up here lately. Even a few things from, you know, a little while back, but they were just kind of laying here, so I grabbed them. Big fan of this series, MGM Midnight Movies. Been grabbing all these I can. Just got these in. Haven't even opened this one yet. Probably got about 20 of these. And this is Youngera and Conga. It's a double feature. And just old monster movies, you know. I ain't going to try and see the years on these. But this kind of stuff I love, man. Also just got this in Deranged and Motel Hell. I think I saw Motel Hell years ago. Never seen Deranged. Check that out. Also got, and again, these are new. Haven't even opened them yet. Fireball 500 and Thunder Alley. Another double feature. And these are kind of teen movies from the 60s. One has Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon and Fabian. And the other one has Annette and Fabian. But total cheese. But I love this stuff, man. I grew up watching these, you know, back in the 70s as a kid. You had local stations. For me, it was a local station out of Pittsburgh, Channel 53. And weekends, man, they showed monster movies, sci-fi movies, Abbott and Costello, old cheesy 60s movies, and just love that stuff. Both these I've had on VHS, for a long time. Finally picked it up on DVD. It's a double feature of Count Yorga, Vampire, and Return of Count Yorga. 70s vampire movies. I believe they were both 70s. Yeah, 70 and 71. And again, I haven't seen these probably for 15 years or so. Checking that out again. Just cracked this one open the other day. It's another Midnight Movies double feature. And it's the Comedy of Terrors and The Raven. Vincent Price movies. And I watched Comedy of Terrors. I haven't watched The Raven yet. Which I saw, you know, years and years ago. But killer stuff. George mentioned he got a handful of James Bond movies really cheap at Best Buy over Black Friday. I actually went in like Saturday or Sunday, and they still had stuff on sale. And I picked up the new Mad Max on Blu-ray for like $7. Would never ever pay the $25, $30 or whatever it is for this, but for $7, kind of wanted to check it out. Love the old original Mad Max. This is totally over the top and fun, but just a over the top, meaningless action movie and just crazy scenes, but definitely entertaining to watch. Dug that. I watch very, very little modern TV. I hate reality shows and all that crap. I do watch, when it comes to reality shows, about the furthest I go is like History Channel and that kind of thing, American Pickers and all that. But I like old sitcoms, and I try and check out some newer sitcoms, and every once in a while one pops up that I like. This one I do like, and it's set in the 80s, which maybe that's why I like it. But I found season 1 for like $10, grabbed it, Goldbergs. If you haven't checked this show out, give it a shot, especially if you're an 80s kid. Really cool. They do like episodes like kind of around old movies from the 80s. You know, Ferris Bueller and that kind of stuff. Really cool show. I think they're on season 3 now. Came across this and actually paid regular price for these because I can't believe they're on DVD. I just barely remember it from when I was a kid. And I was always a Don Rickles fan. But they put out CPO Sharky. This is season 2, and I think that was all they did. They did the 2 seasons. And I got 1, which I've already watched and put away, but I just got 2 in not long ago. Total cheeseball, bad 70s TV, but yeah, just love it. Don Rickles is great. So, look forward to checking those out. These just got reissued, and they're relatively inexpensive, like $10-12, I think, if I remember right. But the first one is Rock and Roll Nightmare. Bad 80s horror, heavy metal horror movie that stars Thor. Yes, the Canadian metal god. And this is really bad, but really great. I love this movie. Just if you've never checked this out, and there's a soundtrack out for this. You know, found it a couple years back on vinyl. And same director, a couple years later, did Black Roses, another metal horror movie from the 80s. And I grabbed both these about the same time. They both come out. Probably on the same. Yep, Synapse Films released them. Really cool. This it's kind of like a heavy metal band comes to town. They're all demons. They're taking over the kids. But the soundtrack has, like, if I remember right, Lizzie Borden, King Cobra. There's 3 or 4 bands. Yeah, they're a part of this soundtrack. And this is out on vinyl also. Which a lot of people probably know. Just a few more here. Grabbed this cheap the other day. The Return of the Living Dead. Hadn't seen this forever. Punk rock, zombie movie, whatever. 80s, just over the top. Freaking great. Totally weird movie. A friend turned me on to this a long time ago. He had it on VHS. He recorded somewhere. I think it came out in the 90s. 1990. And that's The Spirit of 76. Really cool movie. It basically stars David Cassidy, but it also stars the brothers from the band Red Cross. So if you're a Red Cross fan, if you've never seen this, it's definitely worth seeing. So ridiculous. Basically, David Cassidy comes back in time to the 70s, 1976. And it's just over the top. There's a few other stars in it. I think Leif Garrett's in it. Julie Brown from MTV. Not Downtown Julie Brown, the other one, the American chick. But really good movie. Really cool. Just total cheese, and love it. Newer movie, came out a couple years ago. And great sci-fi. Iron Sky. Basically, the whole thing behind the story of this movie is after World War II, the Nazis escape to the dark side of the moon. And they come back, you know, years later. And this is great. Rumors was, I think they're making a sequel to this, which I would love. Man, I hope they do that. A movie I really, really ended up liking. My wife drugged me to it. She wanted to see it, and I was like, whatever. Yeah, let's go. Totally freaking ended up loving this movie. Had to pick it up on Blu-ray. Found it cheap. And that's the Grand Budapest Hotel. Like I said, newer movie. I think it won all kind of awards. If you've never seen this movie, check it out. Just the filming is amazing. And I know the directors, Wes Anderson. He does all these weird movies. And I don't even pretend to know all of his movies. I've maybe seen 1 or 2 other ones. But this is just a great visual movie, if nothing else. And it's a killer story, too. Just a funny movie. Good movie. Just grabbed this, had it on sale when it first came out. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. This ended up being really good. Just been getting into the TV show last year or two. I never watched it as a kid, and I've been picking them up on DVDs. I picked up the first season, and then ended up finding a killer deal on just a whole box set for all of them and picked that up. But 60s spy movie, TV show, but this is basically set in the 60s, this movie, and it's actually cool. It left it at the end definitely for some sequels, which I hope it did well enough to have some sequels, but I love spy movies, and especially 60s spy movies, and that's right in there. Really good. Had to grab this. If you were a kid in the 70s, one of your heroes was Evel Knievel. There's just no way around it. Kiss and Evel Knievel. So in '77, Evel Knievel did a movie, Viva Knievel. And I don't know if it was a made-for-TV movie or what the deal was. Total cheeseball, total fun. And actually, one of the motorcycles in here, I was talking to Aaron about this, I believe, or sent out some pictures of this when I was watching it, being goofy. And I think it was Aaron, came across one of the motorcycles was up for auction on eBay or somewhere for like a ridiculous amount of money. But anyways, cool movie. If you grew up in the 70s, you were a kid in the 70s, you know, you remember Evel Knievel, and great movie. Another cheeseball movie. I remember this from a kid, came across it, had to grab it. Saturday the 14th. This was like 81. Richard Benjamin, Paula Priestess, comedy horror, just bad comedy horror, but really cool. It's just a fun movie. It's stupid. I guess you gotta be the right age. This I had never seen, and this ended up being killer. It's from like 84 or something like that, 83, I can't remember. Early to mid 80s, but Night of the Creeps. Really cool, man, and it actually has like a little bit of a cult following, evidently. Yeah, watching the bonus stuff on here, and somehow I missed this movie. It may have even been late 80s, I can't remember, but really cool. It stars one of the kids that played the son in one of the Vacation movies, which I can't even remember now. But either way, it's just over the top 80s horror movie, you know. It's got some gross parts, funny parts, just very cool. Found this on sale, and you know, being an 80s kid, had to grab it. Pixels. You know, it's all about, you know, video games from the 80s and that kind of crap. But this ended up being fun. This is a fun movie to watch, man. You know, definitely, you know, find it cheap or rent it, whatever. Definitely worth checking out. A couple old movies. Samuel Z. Arkoff collection. How to Make a Monster and Blood of Dracula. Both are 50s movies, just black and white horror movies. How to Make a Monster is killer. Love that movie. But love these, man. This is just the stuff I grew up on, you know. Creature features, chiller, theater, whatever you want to call it. Every little station before they were all the TV stations were owned by 3 companies or whatever. But they would show these old crazy movies and have these creature feature TV shows, you know. And Channel 53 had one. Channel 20 around DC had them, you know, had a show, and used to watch all that stuff, man. And last one, I'd never seen this. I missed this in the 80s too. Was Pumpkinhead. It's a really cool movie, man. I've heard people talk about this for a while, and I finally came across it. It was like, whatever, $4 or $5 somewhere. Totally dug it. Great, late 80s, I believe. Alright, that's it. Like I said, just kind of wanted to share. I'm really digging what George is doing with his Nyrd Alert videos. I'm just kind of jump in. I might do more of these as time permits. I'm always picking up DVDs here and there, or you know, magazines, books. Try not to let too much of the music stuff get into here, like even music books. I'll keep that all over one of the VC videos. But anyways, if you're into this kind of stuff, or you're into something different, whatever you geek out about, man, jump in on these Nyrd Alert videos. It's kind of cool. I'd like to see some other people in the VC show what else they're into, you know, like whatever, cars or whatever you're into. Do video. All right, thanks for watching. Later.